Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today we're going to do update 43 of the ACT3 and I hope you enjoy it. I got a little helper here, I'll show you a picture of her. What do you think about that, Emma? What do you think about this? Huh? What do you think? Okay, not a lot of activity down here yet. However, I had the base scenery done around here. What I have done, and I'm obviously not finished, is I did put these wooden crossings in. They're Blair line crossings. I did put those in. I haven't gotten the asphalt in between the two tracks yet, and I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do for traffic control there. I have my crossing gates that I had on the other layout, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to try and install them in there. But nevertheless, let's move on down to the right here and show you what's been happening. Okay, one of the first things we're going to look at is that crossing right over there. You can see that I got the road in right there, and I cut a template, and I did the template for the oil facility. You can see there's a couple of oil trucks waiting to fill up. And let me back the camera out if I can. Now what you can see here in this shot is I did cut that in half. I have rehabilitated the tanks. I have also put a wooden structure in between the tanks, and I have used the very low small tank that I had on the other layout as the larger holding tank for the area. More than likely diesel fuel in there to supply the railroad nearby. I have all the base scenery done around here, and like I say, base scenery. Got the concrete in over at the depot over there, but we'll zoom in and take a look at some of this stuff a little closer. Okay, here you can see that I have some lighting in, some light posts in. Got them working finally. The crane is in place. The ground cover is done around all the junk piles now. The gate is functioning properly. I've got some tank cars in here to be loaded or unloaded, whichever you prefer. You can see the loading facility right there. The hose laying over the edge of the concrete. The only thing I haven't done, and I might mention it right here, is right here I haven't put any kind of view block to fix these pipes that aren't actually going into the building. I'll deal with that sooner or later. I need to put some more. I have some people that actually go on this, went on this diorama, and I'll put them back out here at some point. But right now I just wanted to make sure that I got the whole area cohesive and ready to go. And you can see that I've pretty much accomplished that. Now let's take a look down here at the concrete I put at the depot. Okay, I made some templates and I cut some concrete here at the depot. I haven't weathered it yet, and I also haven't brought the ballast up to it and haven't taken the ballast on underneath the bridge over to the double crossover. I have set a few vehicles out here to make it look like something's happening. I think it's looking pretty good so far. Now you can kind of see how the area looks there, all in one shot. Still undefined as to what I'm going to do way back over there. I think I have room for a warehouse or something. There's quite a bit of room in between there, especially if I cut some of those hills out and make a cut through those little hills there. And then put a backdrop back in there of, say a parking lot or something, and maybe some structures way back in the background. Not really sure, but I have a couple of thoughts, and we'll see how that goes. For the most part, I think we've already covered it. The bridge is done. But this is how the area turned out here. Still need to put in yuccas and other ground stuff, but I wanted to get the structures in place. So the next structure to work on is probably back there where those box cars are where I was talking about. And that'll kind of wrap up this area for the most part, with the exception of putting in yuccas and possibly trees and that sort of thing. But all that stuff is easy to do and can be done after the fact. Oh, I also, as you can see, I also have not done lines on the asphalt, and I have not weathered the asphalt. But you can, I think we've seen it in the past, but you can see the road goes down and in front of the junkyard, and then goes on down across the track and down into town over there. So that's the basic gist of it, and that's the way it looks so far. Let me turn some lights off and we'll take a look at it. So here's the other side of the fuel depot. There's a light in the fuel rack down there where the trucks are filling up. Overall, I like the area. I think it came together well. Not sure if I'll put anything else in here. Like I say, it needs some people and so forth. Maybe some fencing and stuff. I'm not really sure yet. But I'm pretty happy with the way this is turning out. Now I'll show you something else that I just got, and I'll go into it a little bit. I've had one before, but I decided to get one again. Anyway, let me show you. Okay, so here's my new toy. I'm really not a fan of onboard sound in locomotives, not really a sound fan whatsoever, but I do like, as you can hear with my birds in the background, I do like background sound, and I do like off-board sound. So this is a Suroundtraxx system. I am not going to have it follow the train around. That would require block detection and all the different blocks and speakers around the layout. And I tried that before years ago when the system first came out. I never could get all the Digitrax products to work together. I know that it has been done and it can be done. I'm just too stupid to do it. But that, nevertheless, I decided to buy one, and it mixes locomotive sounds very well. And I will give you a better demonstration on this thing at some point in time. But let me turn it up. And I think you can hear that. And as you can see, the sound level isn't up very far. And if I reach across the camera here and I turn up my locomotive, which it's on locomotive 2700, which is the lead locomotive on the train I've been running around forever. And that sound is playing from just a speaker laying on the floor, and I plan on putting 3 speakers under the layout. And now let me swing down here, try to get down here. It's just an automotive speaker in a wooden box. I'm going to put 3 of those around the layout, and then if I swing around and try not to make you sick, here comes the 2 GP30s. I don't know how well this is showing up on the camera, but you can hear the dynamic brake fans kicking on. And now I'm going to slow down a little bit. So in theory we could make a crew change here at the depot. Now, with what we just looked at here, and if you can hear that sound, which I think you can, this system overlays different types of locomotives very well. So if I had a yard switcher running, for instance, you could hear this one idling and you would be able to hear the other locomotive running up. And I'm not sure I can accomplish that here, but let me give it a shot on this throttle. I've got to pull up another locomotive group over here. Okay, I just added another, I just started up another locomotive group over here. It's two more GP30s, 1218 and 1201. And you can still hear these GP30s over here idling, but you can also, I think you could hear the other two GP30s start up. Now you can still hear the other ones idling in the background, and you can hear the 1218, I'm sorry, I'm on the the 2700 rather. Hang on one second, my error. Okay, 2700, which is stopped at the depot that you're looking at right there. I just idled it back down. Now let me start up 1218. See, I think you can hear those running in the background. And then I'll crank those back down. And like I say, all the while we still hear the other ones idling. So now all four of, well, basically the two MU sets are idling together. Anyway, I have a lot of work to do with this. As you heard, I have a real old horn on the other GP30s. That can all be changed. You can change different horns. You can change the notch rate. You can even change the volume on everything. The bell, the whistle, or the bell, the horn. The whistle if it's a steam locomotive, the chuff rate. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can change here. And I'm just fully not back up to speed again. And if I had an Alco locomotive versus these EMDs in the background, you would really hear the difference between the two styles of locomotives as they were both running together. It has a real good overlay of all the different locomotives that you're working with. I could have these EMDs going around and be switching with an Alco, and you'd really be able to tell the difference between what's happening out there. But anyway, I'm not an expert on the system. Yes, it's expensive. However, how expensive is it to put sound decoders in 5 locomotives? 6 locomotives? It would definitely cover the cost. And like I say, I don't like the fact that that takes away from the running capabilities of the locomotives, and the sound is really not that great, I don't think. Anyway, let me turn this down a little bit. So I have a master volume. I can turn it all the way off, or I can turn it all the way down. But anyway, like I say, we'll go into that a little more in depth when I learn a little bit more about it or refresh my memory. It's been about 9 years since I've had one of these, 8 years. So anyway, that's the new toy. I'm going to show you one die cast that I just recently got, and we'll be on our way once again. Okay, this is the only new die cast that I've gotten. If any of you are familiar with trucks, you may know what kind of truck that is. Most people do not. That is a 1947 Diamond T. I always liked them because, oddly enough, when I was about 21 years old, 21 years old, I bought one of these, and it was exactly like that truck right there, only a 48. And instead of being set up with a fifth wheel in the back, it had a deuce and a half military bed mounted on the back. I started to restore it, did the inside. The motor was a Hercules engine in there, had a 2-speed rear end and I believe it was a 4-speed transmission. Was going to mess around with the thing, got it for next to nothing as a kid, and it wound up that I couldn't afford to put tires on it. But anyway, wound up getting rid of it, sold it to a cement company in Farmington, New Mexico. And what they did with it after that, I don't know. But it was identical to that cab. This just happens to be a Budweiser truck, but it's a very, very nicely done Matchbox model. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. I always liked the style of them ever since I had the one I was messing with, simply because they have a really low roof line on them. They almost look like they're chopped. I always thought that was very cool. I've always had a thing for the Diamond T trucks. But so anyway, that's the reason I have that one. Not because I drink Budweiser, because I don't drink at all, but that's beside the point as well. It's just that I have a thing for Diamond T trucks. And that's about the only one out there that's worth a darn. So I believe that may be all I have for you today. I've been saving up my eBay money. I've been selling off some of my buildings on eBay. I'm going to try and list a few more this weekend. Don't know if I'll get to it. I bought a performance exhaust system for the Toyota with the money that I've saved up from selling off some of my structures. And that's about it. You'll probably be seeing a video on that. I promised a Tundra Dude 34 that I'd do an install on the system that I bought, and kind of an evaluation. So you'll see that coming in the near future if you're into cars at all or into Toyota Tundras. And that's about it for today. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed update 43, and as usual, thanks for watching.